We're missing one person, Bran.
I had it up, and then all of a sudden I just realized that it wasn't there anymore.
Uh-huh.
Oh, whoops.
I've had it up all day because I can loop the music I want to listen to on it.
you know, like YouTube on repeat, like is a thing. Right?
It's already here though. Like while I'm writing stuff, hi internet by the way. While I'm writing stuff, the music's just here already, so I'm gonna listen to it here.
Why not?
Fair.
Yeah. Anyway, hi internet, we're back for another night of angst and existentialism.
Hooray!
Yeah. So, to give a brief recap, last week, the party continued their break-in in the House of the Broken Star. In fact, they kind of concluded it. They heard a scream come from beneath the primary altar within the Cathedral of the Broken Star. They then all rushed into this hole where the scream had come from, and traveling through the pit that had opened, they found themselves walking through a tunnel that seemed displaced from space and time itself. Crossing through the threshold, they found themselves within a room that was clearly the site of a ritual. There were several priests gathered around the body of a young girl who was prone and crying for help, while there was another priest in front of her chanting some sort of ritual. The party broke in and sought to interrupt the ritual, and they did distract the priest, but only when the ritual had completed. As the priest declared some things to them, the little girl was torn asunder. This being of sorts was drawn into her body, and she was split, and her body was distended, and she turned into an abomination. But the party took pity on this creature, and instead of slaying it, decided to banish the creature that had been summoned into the girl in hopes of saving her life. A small battle ensued in which they did their utmost to not harm the girl. They succeeded, and then banished the creature that had been summoned, but sadly the girl was lost in the combat. Bran, deciding this was unacceptable, used a resurrection spell which left him somewhat at a disadvantage for the next several days, but brought the girl back to life. At this point, Ren reached down to touch the blood of the abomination, and it ran up her arm and seeped into her skin, and she was given a terrible vision. A vision of what might have been the world ending. Then, as she came back, the fabric of reality itself tore open, and the party saw what looked to be maybe a giant eye looking out at them. And it declared, "There you are." And it had been looking for them, apparently. Without gleaning much information off of this, they only knew that something ominous had just occurred. They tried to get some more information from the head priest that they had saved, and his mind had seemingly been broken by the sight of whatever had torn open this hole. Knowing they weren't going to get anything else from him, Laffy killed him for his crimes.
Yeah, she did.
But everyone wanted to, so, no one was really upset about this.
Except maybe Nania.
Nenny's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Very fun.
The party Ren took, let's go ahead and call it ownership of the small girl that was unconscious but alive due to Bran's... She kinda is right now.
Oh my god.
You don't know the mental state of this child, you just know that she's alive. You guys sought out the High Priest Ardat to inform him that the temple is now his. They had already entered the temple, and were beginning to tuck themselves back into home. They asked him if he had heard anything about harbingers, at which point he just kind of sassily told them, "I know the definition."
Fucking
Jesus.
Yeah. That wasn't quite the answer they were looking for, but it's the answer they got. He then informed them that they had indeed broken this cycle of immortality over the city of Raston. And
Everyone was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
and that's basically how he wound up. The party then decided they should leave. Realizing that they should probably rest and kind of gather their thoughts before they just go ahead and hop on a ship to leave, and that perhaps they have some unfinished business here on this continent. They allowed Laffy to open up her mansion. They climbed inside, and that's where we're going to pick up, actually. I believe each of you had started to go back to your individual rooms, just worn out from what had happened.
Well, we didn't get there yet, but,
You guys are in the mansion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So does everyone just look like they're gonna go to their room, or?
Nadia grabs the little goodbye note that she had and her things casually, and yeah, she looks each of them over. Will you tell me if you need any injuries seen to?
Miss kind of opens her mouth and closes her mouth and is just like, I think I'm fine for now, but...
Yeah, sure, injuries, got it. Bran just walks off to his room.
If you hear anything
call out.
odd over the amulets, it might be me. You might want to check on me if you do.
What?
There's something I need to do. Oh, right. She opens her book and she flips through it and she's like, I wrote down what happened before. There's a summary, if you don't want to read pages. Miss just takes a few pages out of her book and hands them to Laffy. So
Laffy
I don't know
takes
if
them.
anyone else seems interested in this, so... Yeah, I can copy paste it, but it's a long ass summary. You already know what happened.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, so... She basically wrote down everything, and at the end, I'll just post the end bits in the thing.
Alright.
But yeah, she's like, I need to commune with the unknown. And I need to talk to whatever it is that's in my head. Both are two separate things, but I need to figure out what the fuck is going on here. Because I don't like it at all.
Reasonable, yes.
So I'm going to go do that.
Right, well, I feel like all these conversations, considering we just inadvertently killed a little girl, are getting a little awkward, so I'm gonna go, and Luffy leaves.
Okay, and then Ren, you still have the little girl, right?
Oh, I assumed that. I think at the very beginning of the conversation, Ren already, fucked off and went to bed.
Okay,
Luffy
that works.
isn't going to bed, though.
Okay.
Luffy is going to go, and she's going to find Polka Dot.
Oh my god.
Make an investigation check.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Air conditioner, you don't need to be on.
27.
Okay, it only takes about 5 minutes to find the screaming eldritch abomination of a goat that is kind of just running around a room screaming. And it turns and spots you and just looks at you.
Luffy looks at Polka Dot right in its square pupils.
Okay.
Is Polka Dot gonna do anything?
Polka Dot's just watching. What are you doing?
Luffy walks up to Polka Dot,
Okay.
and she takes out some snacks.
Make an animal handling check with advantage.
Oh gosh, what's my animal handling? 13.
Polka Dot eyes you and leans forward and takes the snacks very gingerly while eyeing you warily.
Luffy goes shh 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 shh, and then she pats the top of Polka Dot's head.
Polka Dot allows this.
And then, what's the room that Polka Dot is in?
It's just a big old empty room. You didn't give this particular room much thought.
Just
You were just like, it's a mansion, so of course there are big rooms, and this is just one that, it's a big room.
Luffy closes her eyes and she thinks really hard. And she's got, like grass pops up for Polka Dot's weird grass cravings.
Okay.
And then, like, a ball of yarn. And Luffy's like, well, that's my good deed for tonight. I'm going to sleep.
Okay. That happens. Before we go back to you, Mist, Ren, you go up to your room and you set the girl down. You kind of tuck her into the bed that you asked Luffy to install in your room.
Yeah.
And what are you doing now that she's in bed?
Ren sits down on her bed and then stares at her hand.
Okay.
We do that for a little while.
Okay. And for the first time in a while, you drift off to sleep.
Oh shit.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
That's like months.
Yeah. Alright, Mist. What's up?
Alright. Okay. So Mist goes to her room,
Mm-hmm.
and her room may or may not have like a relatively large sort of like carved symbol of her symbol in the ground that she would use for like a spell circle thing.
Okay.
And she sits in the middle and she puts the first symbol she got in like the diamond in front of her,
Okay.
and she puts her book in the diamond behind her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna try to commune with the unknown.
Okay. Describe the beginning of this to me.
Okay. So she closes her eyes and she mutters the riddle sort of to herself, only in like this creepy ass eldritch sort of language.
Okay.
You know the one?
Mhm.
And weirdly it probably rhymes, but that's not here or there.
Okay, yeah.
And she sort of thinks of herself as like both nothing and everything. Sort of like she thinks of herself as a space between things. She starts like letting all of her wonders and questions and everything fill her mind sort of all at once, and just sort of
Make a
spill
wisdom roll.
out. Oh god, okay. Wisdom. Just straight wisdom.
Just straight wisdom with your modifier.
Can I luck this?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's another one.
Okay. As you're doing this, it's all a bit much. Your head is it's a crowded place. It's not normally a very quiet place to begin with. But as you open yourself up to all of these things, just due to your connection with whatever this thing is, your thoughts become more and more crowded until you can barely hear yourself think. But you do hear something else think for you. And you just hear, yes, what? What do you want?
Mist, she doesn't really speak, but instead she conveys. Like, she conveys the questions and uncertainty of the voice that she heard, but she does it in sort of like a muted way, where like it's in a bubble. She's not conveying the entirety of the thing because she's concerned that this thing might be in complete conflict with the unknown. And she doesn't want to, like, you know, just like jab it with something, basically.
Okay.
So she's just kind of basically like, what is this? Is this aligned with you? And because I don't like it at all. Should I be worried about this? Should this be a thing we need to do something about?
Give me a second. Okay. There is this strange sensation, and it tingles through your whole body. And the tentacles on your arm wrap tighter, and are like closing off the circulation to your arm and subsequently themselves. And you start to feel your hand go numb and cold. And while this is happening, your mind is kind of distracted by the physical sensation. And you get the image of two threads being woven together, but one of them just a straight like silken thread, while the other is kind of frayed. It's like twine almost that's starting to pull apart, while the other one's just this nice single thread.
Okay. Does she get any other feeling from this? Like, Does it look like they're meant to be twining together, or does it seem like one's trying to get away from the other?
It looks like someone's like sewing with them almost. Or what's the word? Crocheting.
Okay. All right. She then conveys like the question sort of like, is it you or is it me? Both to kind of together, not necessarily like one or the other, more like, is this you? Is this me? Is this something else?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh my god, okay. 21.
Okay. You just hear one word. Us.
Mist, like, when she's communing with the unknown, she doesn't actually she doesn't try to hide or deceive or anything, so she actually feels kind of uneasy. Like, not so much, like, from the unknown itself, but more from the thing that she's sort of questioning, like, the voice.
Mm-hmm.
She feels uneasy about the voice, and she feels uneasy about, like, what it would mean to, I don't know, what she thinks it mean, like, what she thinks is being conveyed. And...
Sorry, go on.
Okay. And she conveys a worry of losing her sense of self, of losing choice and possibility, and she's questioning, would this be a loss of choice and possibility?
Would what be? Like, I
She's
need something
thinking-
a bit more specific than that.
Okay. Because she's getting the idea that since she's asking about the voice, it is showing these threads twining together, it's saying us.
Mm-hmm.
She's guessing it means that either she and the voice should sort of connect together, or the unknown wants her to connect to the voice, and she's asking, like, would connecting to this voice be a loss of possibility, a loss of choice, a loss of self, because it means to control me?
It's a lot for one kind of question.
I know, it's like...
I need you to do me a favor and break it down to a single question.
Okay. I have to think about this, I'm sorry. Would connecting with this voice restrict her or control her?
Okay. You get the sense that it is a yes.
And then she's like, she seems confused because that seems against what the unknown stands for. Like, so she's just kind of sitting there confused for a bit, which, you know, it probably is fine with, but, you know.
While she's sitting there in silence, she hears, and it's a physical sensation of hearing, not like anything else. And it's just become complete.
That's weird. She doesn't like, since it sounds like that's coming from, like, where she's sitting, right? Like, actual body. She doesn't fucking like that! It's just like...
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Constitution. Nope.
Your concentration is broken, and you are no longer communing with anything.
Shit. Okay. Well, in that case, she's looking the fuck around to see if she can figure out where the heck she heard that voice come from, but I'm guessing there's nothing there.
Yeah, don't see anything.
She looks at her fucking arm. Like...
The tentacles have ceased squeezing and are just kind of doing their idle wave.
She's like, did you do that?
They're just waving, having a good time.
Miss, she doesn't like it. She's really uncomfortable right now. So then, well, she's gonna do a dumbass thing.
Okay.
Unless she's gonna see if, since I'm guessing that voice is whispering to her constantly still, right?
No, it's actually been silent.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if she's been considered to have done this already or not, but if she hasn't, she's gonna fucking, like, attune to the arm.
Okay, yeah, she has already, let's just go ahead and say that.
Okay. And she's gonna try to see if she can find that voice.
Okay. Scrying, right?
Oh.
Or what are you using?
Sure. I mean, she doesn't fucking know. Like, before it was just in her head.
Well,
but
doing attuning to the arm, or the arm doesn't do anything by itself. It's a weapon for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. In the description, you said that there's a constant whispering.
Yeah, that's been quiet.
Okay, that's what she's looking for.
Yeah, no, it's quiet.
Okay. Would you think that scrying for it would work?
Yeah, you have no idea.
I'm just gonna fucking try, why not? She's
Okay.
doing all her stupid shit right now.
Yeah, I mean, you are going to bed, so. Spellbot, where are you at?
I can actually just...
Alright, it's gonna make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm gonna bring this up for me, too.
You can hear the roll.
What's your spell save DC?
This uses charisma, right? Because
Yes.
it's the tentacles? Okay.
Yes.
19.
Okay. You got nothing.
Shit.
Your consciousness doesn't even pull away. It's just nothing happens.
She's really upset about this.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say her upset has to wait.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the rest of you guys, you get your rest. Bran, you barely got into your room before falling asleep. Your ass is gone. Again, Ren, you just kind of drifted off without thinking about it. Laffy, you did your thing and slept.
Yeah, sleeping anywhere.
Yeah. The morning comes, or you guys rest for 8 hours.
I have something to say unless something is happening.
What do you want to say?
Oh, well, I mean, something that I want to do.
Fine. Yeah, that's cool. What do you want to happen?
Okay. She's gonna go, and she's gonna go find Brand.
Okay.
What's Brand?
Bran is probably a corpse on his bed at the moment.
Luffy goes and is the door locked?
Probably not.
Okay, Luffy invites herself on in because that's who she is as a person.
Bran doesn't react. He's gone.
She goes and she's like, hey, snaps her fingers a few times, but I can't snap loud enough.
Bran doesn't wake up.
She's like, we have to... One, I have something to say to you, and two, we have to get the fuck out of Dodge. Wake up.
There's like a long pause, and after like a while, Bran just finally slowly sits up and he just squints at her. Have you ever raised someone from the dead like that before?
You know, that's precisely what I wanted to talk to you about.
I can't do that again. You're going to give me like a week.
That's not what I want to say. What I want to say, and as she speaks, like a cup of coffee just floats into the room.
Bran just takes it and immediately starts sipping on.
I don't think that you would have done that a year ago. And that's not to say that I think that you are a terrible person, but
I mean, I am a pretty terrible person.
I appreciate that you did that. You didn't need to. We could have just left her dead.
Well, if you're looking for some heartfelt explanation for why I did it, I don't think you're going to get it. I just felt like doing it, and that's all.
I traveled with you for a long time. I know that you're not gonna say shit. I just want to thank you for it. Anyway, drink some coffee, get ready to go. And then with that, Lobby leaves.
Bran
Okay.
goes back to sleep.
Yeah,
And
you
she
guys.
doesn't close the door behind her.
Yeah, you guys get your full 8 hours. Mist, you
I
get your
meant
4.
in the morning, not...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she has to find in the morning. She can go at night.
Oh, okay. Then,
Bran probably eventually drags himself out. It's probably his limbs probably feel like rocks. To him.
yeah. Alright, so are the rest of you just kind of getting up and going out to the coffee room?
Yeah, Mist has probably been there for a while, just staring at nothing.
Okay.
Thinking real hard.
Luffy walks into the kitchen, or the kitchen probably, and she's like, "Ooh, everyone's doing real well this morning."
Bran,
Whoa.
Bran probably ends up eating enough for like 3 people.
Oh my god.
The food just keeps floating over to Bran. Like every time he finishes, new food arrives.
Ren hasn't come out of her room yet because she hasn't actually woken up yet.
Everyone just needs to sleep a whole lot now.
Well, Ren, while you are asleep, you feel a gentle, like, tugging at your shoulder.
Oh.
Ren, like, makes, like, that noise. And then eventually, like, opens her eyes. And then, like, she bolts upright because she's like, holy shit, what just happened?
And the little girl was at your side trying to wake you up, and you hear, ah, I'm sorry, where am I?
And Ren, like, takes a minute, she's like, well, I mean, you're safe.
That's nice, okay, to start.
My name is Ren.
Hi.
We can go find your parents now if you'd like.
I would like to go home, yes.
Okay. And Ren gets up and, like, opens the door. Would you like breakfast first?
I would like that, yeah.
Okay. Follow me.
And she does. And you come down into the kitchen with a small child. She's about, like, 12, 13, so not really small, but, you know, just kind of trailing behind you, looking sheepish, but also kind of goggle-eyed at where she is.
Like, Bran is probably surrounded by empty coffee cups and plates, and his face is just, like, face down on the table.
Oh my god. Poor Bran. Yeah, Mist is spacing out, and it only probably notices Ren come down with the girl because Vathon paused. Like, pay attention, nerd.
There is an extra seat already ready. There is, like, orange juice for the kid already ready. There's, like, a plate. Luffy prepared for this.
Ren, like, pulls out her chair, gestures for her to sit down.
She kind of sheepishly gets into the chair and looks down at the food and doesn't touch it yet.
Yeah, Mist is just like, good morning.
Ren just kind of pats her head and is like, help yourself.
Okay. And she doesn't. Instead, she's just kind of looking at all of you guys. She looks very confused.
Yeah, Mist is like, did Red tell you where you are?
She just said I was safe.
Oh, well, this is like our home sort of like magical mansion thing, but we're still in Raston.
You saw her eyes go distant after you said the word home.
Oh, well.
Like she didn't comprehend anything after that one word.
This is why Ren didn't explain.
But she peeked up at Raston a bit and went, oh. Okay,
yeah.
So I'm close to home.
She points to the door and she's like, right out there would be Raston.
Is it Sunward or is it Raston?
It's Raston.
Oh.
Though
you're not from Raston?
I'm from Sunward.
No.
Who knows if that matters anymore?
And Nenia, you don't recognize this specific girl, but you've been watching her since she came down, and you realize you recognize the way she's dressed. And she's definitely dressed like the villagers. From the one village you found.
Yeah.
Alright.
Mist is like, well, there's
Making
at this point, sun will rise in both places, I think. Or is it only one now? Is it only the other one? I don't know.
No, it's both.
Okay, yeah.
The sun?
They could probably all use a good tan.
Well, if the sun is rising here, then the moon is going to rise in sun with Raston.
I will remind you guys that the sun was rising when you went to bed.
Yeah.
So it's probably dark again now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And the girl's is like, okay. Okay.
Do you remember anything?
I remember some guards from Rasting came to the village and said that I needed to come with them, and Gran looked really sad, but said I had to go, so I went. She said I might live forever. Well, am I gonna live forever?
No.
Oh. Okay.
It's fine.
Well, the good news is neither are the rest of us.
Yeah.
Um,
Do they live longer though?
How about we don't ask these things?
Fair.
Well, I just, yeah, so we're gonna get you home. You should really eat because, it's gonna be a bit of a trip.
okay. I'm Leah, by the way.
I'm Luffy.
She just kind of sheepishly waves at you and starts eating. So,
Luffy, by the way, whistles for Saint.
Saint comes padding into the room.
When he arrives, she, snaps her fingers a few times and she points to Leah to, tell him to go hang out with her.
He boofs and bounds over to her and wags his tail and looks up at her and just keeps wagging, and she smiles and pats him on the head.
That's Saint. I believe you made a new friend.
Hi,
He's the
Saint.
god of friendship.
Well, all dogs are like that.
Yeah.
So she hangs out with Saint while eating. You guys finish up your brekkie brek, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry
Miss
for that, by the
forgets
way.
to eat a few times, but she eventually remembers when it's just in her face, and Nathan keeps walking in front of her, pecking at her.
Okay. So you guys pick up your things and you head towards the door, and you do see that, yeah, it's dark again out. Yeah. So
I
you guys...
swear the sun was rising. We weren't lying.
No,
Well-
it'll be clear soon enough, I'm sure.
Okay. And she steps out, and you guys all step out, and you see the mansion door close behind you, and you're left in the alleyway in Raston that you stepped out from. The city is much as it was when you guys left it before you went into the temple.
Luffy looks at Nenia and she's like, well, come on, Rebel, lead the way.
Right, okay, I'd like to say that wish you would recall it was near docks, but is there anything I can roll for her to kind of get her bearings right
Yeah,
now?
you can do a nature check.
Okay. She is super distracted.
Yeah, you're just
Is
kind of
that a
like,
one?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You don't know where you are.
Yeah, Miss just looks at Nenny and is like, I know that feeling.
I'm so sorry, and, well, she's gonna do what she did last time. They were in an alleyway, so she's gonna try the other end, and...
Okay, yeah, you, using more common sense than most adventurers, you walk out the open end of the alleyway, and you stand out in the street, and not much seems changed. You presume something happened because the sun did rise, but as far as you can see, there are still people in the street, still shops open. It's less lively than it was, but
Half of them died, it's fine.
no one died. that you know
No
of.
one that we know of.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure some like indulgent death party happened and someone actually did die and
Oh my god.
anyway, yeah. So you're out in the street.
Yes. She'll try to get her bearings again.
Okay, nature check again.
If we can make our way back to the ship, I know that where to go from there, I think.
Perfect.
We can't about that.
While you're looking, you look around, or while you're talking, you look around and you go, oh, that way. And you take off down the street, heading towards the docks.
Mm-hmm.
Fluffy looks proud.
Miss
the,
looks impressed.
the little girl, or Leah, is staying near you, Ren.
Aww.
Ren just kind of, lets her follow along.
Fluffy has directed Saint to the other side of the girl.
Okay, she is flanked by a dog and Ren. A dog and a wannabe werewolf.
That was a lifetime ago.
Uh-huh. Literally, dudes.
Yeah.
That was low-hanging fruit, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, you guys walk about 20-30 minutes before you end up at the docks. That too is unchanged, except you do see a few boats have gone out, and there are empty wharfs where they were. And the Sea Song's prow is still there, looking untouched. You don't see anybody above deck. But what with it now being officially night, you have a good idea you know why. And Nenia, you look around and yeah, you remember if first you head south, you'll reach a spot where you then have to turn west.
Yeah, alright. So she's just going to keep on leading the way, I guess. She remembers that it starts to wrap around and mentally preparing for guards ahead, but she's very to herself and not saying where to go, just I'm gonna lead and not say a word. She's very preoccupied, but doing what she was told.
That.
Oh yeah, okay. Thanks.
Fluffy is content to follow along.
As you guys are walking, you do pass what looks to be one of the priests of Raelsh, going around, and he's just putting up posters that just say "Daylight has come, daylight has come."
Fluffy gives a woo, and then inappropriately, and then she keeps.
You see him jump and look back at you guys, or look around what the fuck was that?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you guys keep walking, and about an hour later, you come to what is clearly a border. Much like you saw before Nenia, there is this very stark difference between where the nice paved cobblestone street ends and just open dirt begins. But you don't see any guards right now.
Okay. She tilts her head at that and then just looks back and well, this is where we keep going. And she glances down at Leia and nods her head and just is going to keep going to sunward.
Okay. You guys just kind of follow?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, as you cross over the threshold, there's that sudden difference where it becomes bright daylight in the blink of an eye.
What? What's a fuck?
Oh, right. That's the thing.
Leah breathes a sigh of relief and, that's better.
Luffy is just squinting because she hasn't seen daylight for a while.
It makes sense.
Her countenance is noticeably lighter, and she's kind of tugging you guys along a bit and leading the way up next to you, Nenia. She goes, This is the dust-trodden road. We're almost home. And you guys look down, and there's no road. You don't know what the hell she's talking about. But she clearly knows where she's going. And she's kind of skipping along now as you guys in the distance see this little ramshackle village made up of these, those wooden, or not wooden, metallic-looking buildings. Kind of like sheds, I guess, made out of that same material, sheet metal, that kind of stuff. You see meager crops being tended to along the edges of this village. You see livestock of what you think are cows, maybe. And you're like, is that a chicken, Jeremiah? But you get closer and it's a little bit bigger. Looks vaguely like it might attack.
Jeez.
But it's rather tame. And as you guys, not that much different from Jeremiah, really, in that regard. You guys keep heading closer to the village, and Leah's getting a little bit quicker. She seems very eager to get home. And you do see in what looks to be like the village green, if there was any greenery around this village, people are bringing out tables and setting them out, and people are bringing food over and setting it down. And people are starting to sit down at those tables. Lead says, "Oh good, in time for breakfast. I'm not too hungry, but everyone will be here."
That's good.
And she leads you guys into the village now. No one's really paying you much mind at this point. They're all kind of focused on what they're getting up to, and they're putting breakfast together. They're very clearly having like a communal meal.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
What is the situation with their crops?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Let me just check something real quick since my stats kind of changed. Okay. 20.
They look a little on the meager side.
Okay, does it look like it's because of the state of the land?
Using what you know about nature in general, yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Sorry, you wanted to know?
Oh yeah, that's all that I have to say about that for now.
Okay. Well, okay.
It'll be relevant later.
Okay. Sorry. Looking at my notes. Yeah, you guys... You take a slightly slower approach. Nenia, you're kind of keeping an eye out for the few people you do kind of know here that you recognize, specifically Ira and Nora, and even Jorad. You're looking around for them. And eventually Leah breaks away from you and runs up and basically like hug tackles this older woman's leg. She's kind of tall, solidly built, and handsome looking, but she's aging, but aging gracefully. And Leah squeezes this woman's leg, and she looks up and looks around and then looks down, and Leah! She leans down and scoops the girl up into her arms, and Leah giggles a little bit. And, "I missed you, Gran." And you see the woman about to say something to her before several people turn to notice you guys. And they grow, like, visibly uneasy. And Leah goes, "Oh, no, those are the people that saved me. They saved me. It's okay."
Luffy gives a little unsure wave.
Yeah, Miss
Ren just crosses her arms.
Miss tries to pull her sleeve over her tentacle arm.
Okay.
Yeah, Bran just kind of standing there with like his hands on his hip.
They all kind of look at you. And then a familiar face, steps up, and it would be parting the crowd if there were enough people to make a crowd. And it is the taller, older gentleman. It is Jorad. He's coming up and goes, it's okay, I know that one. And he points to you, Nenia, and he smiles, and, well, if you brought this girl back, I guess you successfully did what you said you were going to do.
We did, yes. And I'm sorry, out of character. Is this the one that came with her?
No.
Oh,
This is like the older guy.
okay. I'm sorry, I mixed up those names then.
Yeah.
Alright.
There's
Yep.
Jorah and Jorad, yeah.
Okay. Hearing. Okay. Gotcha.
It's confusing.
Thank you.
And the older woman kind of she tilts her head to the side, and there's a curious look to her hazel-colored eyes. And she just goes, well, if Jorad has good things to say about you. She steps forward, and still holding Leah in one arm, she extends one arm to you, Nenia. Goes, I am Taya. If Jorad knows you and you saved my Leah, I suppose we owe you thanks.
Oh, and she's like midway going for a handshake, but it wasn't just me. She gestures a free hand back to everybody else. They deserve credit for saving Leah.
She's the best of us, though, so.
Don't.
Too late. Too late. I said it already, can't take it back.
Just don't.
The older
She's not
woman
wrong.
smiles and chuckles, and, well, thank you all. If you'd like, we're just about to eat before the day begins. You're welcome to join us.
But who, if I can ask, who runs the farms around here?
Oh, that would be, Nua.
Okay, where are they?
And she looks at you kind of curiously again, and then points off to one end of the village.
Okay. Luffy looks at the others and she's like, can we just have a little group meeting for a moment?
Sure.
Oh, right.
Thank you for your offer, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Of course, anything for those who saved my granddaughter.
Luffy kind of shuffles the group over to the side. And she's like, I would like to... So, first of all, Brett needs to rest for, like, another day or something.
I'll be fine.
Well, I want to do something for these people, and it's going to take a bit of time if they let me.
That's alright, I think.
A couple hours. Are we fine with that? Like, 8 hours.
What exactly are you planning on doing?
If they let me, I want to help them with their crops. I have a spell for that.
They're a little nervous with the magic.
Well, that's why I'm asking. I'm not just gonna
Right.
do it without their permission.
Of course.
I would.
What? What did Brent say? I didn't hear.
Brent said, I would.
Luffy looks at Brent and she's like, yeah, of course you would. I mean, look at you. And then Luffy walks off to go find Nua.
Brent just shrugs and takes it as a compliment.
She meant it as a compliment.
Okay, well, while Luffy's taking off for her little walk, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Well, Miss doesn't really know where the heck she's going, so she's just staying with everyone. Like,
Okay.
She kind of looks at him and is like, I feel sort of bad. I know they invited us, but I don't really want to eat anything that they have here. It doesn't. Looks like they work very hard for what they've got.
So with the rest of the group just kind of being quiet about that. Nina. Okay, yeah. I was like, Nina, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Well, so are you guys just kind of gonna stand around and mill about for now?
Well,
Brand's
if no one else,
sure how he can contribute to this thing that Luffy wants to do. So.
Yeah, Mist kind of looks in the direction that Laffy went, and she's like, "Is Laffy still in sight or not?"
It's really hard to get out of sight in this village, so yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing more than these.
I would like to roll
buildings.
a stealth check.
Oh my god!
You can't. There's nowhere to hide.
Okay. Mist is like, I can actually help with spells too, but they might not want it. Maybe I'll go with Nafi.
Okay.
And since no one else seems to be saying anything at all,
Be my guest.
just runs after Laffy.
Okay, well, with the rest of you guys just kind of standing around, eventually.
Ren's gonna find, like, a tree to sit under, or possibly in.
Brand's gonna go, find a corner to nap it.
Okay, make a perception check, Ren.
The first one with new shit.
Yeah. Let's see it.
She can see. She put on her glasses.
She remember. Okay.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Whoa, that makes a difference.
Whole new world.
Yeah, you look around for a few minutes, and you find a tree off to the side that people aren't really going around, and it's hidden underneath the overhang of a building. But you and Bran just kind of wander over there. Bran, you sit down and lean up against the bark, and you're out.
There you go.
Nenny, are you going with Bran and Ren, or?
Nenny's gonna help set up breakfast with the village if I'll have her.
Okay. Ren, what are you doing under the tree? Or in the tree?
Standing there.
Okay.
Leaning against the tree, arms crossed, looking broody.
Yeah.
Rooting for
As she do.
Okay. Well then.
Brand snoring right next to her.
Ren occasionally just nudges him to get him to stop.
Probably doesn't work.
Makes it worse.
Okay, we're gonna briefly move over to Laffy and Mist. You guys walk. It's only a 5-minute walk before you find what is clearly it's like a barn.
Laffy has a little peek inside.
All right, there is a younger-looking woman actually, kind of slight and spry-looking, and she's actually moving around quickly, giving orders to several other individuals that have various gardening and farming tools. And it takes a few minutes for her to give everyone instructions before she wipes her forehead and turns around and catches sight of you and, oh, hello. Who are you?
I'm new. My name's Laffy.
Okay.
I'm Mist.
Hi.
Greetings.
What do you want?
Well,
Out with it.
This is going to sound weird, but I noticed that your land is having a bit of trouble producing the crops.
Nothing new about that. It's always been that way.
Would you like help?
Don't know what you mean by that.
Well, I've been told that you guys are a little tetchy with the magics, but I have control over nature to some degree. And if you give me enough time, I can make it so that you can grow more plants.
I'm not gonna turn any help down. I don't care how you do it.
Laffy claps her hands together and she's like, great! I've been wanting to use this. Would you like to supervise or anything?
That would be best, yeah.
Alright, let's go.
She falls into line with you.
Yeah, Mist follows after them.
And you guys step out into a rather large... It's hard to call it a field as much as it's just an open space. It is, like, not quite clay, not quite sand, not quite dirt. It's just this weird mixture that they are digging into and putting down these strange-looking seeds. And you do see things sprouting up. And some people are walking over to them and tugging them out. And there are things that look like they're root plants. Root vegetables. You see a few things growing that are like corn stalks almost. It's very practical food, nothing very fancy.
Alright, so Buffy goes, and she just kind of plops her butt down in front of the field. She sits cross-legged, hands on either leg. She takes in a deep breath, and she begins to concentrate, and the center of both her palms begins to glow green. And it's going to take 8 hours, but in the span of 8 hours, as plant growth says, the land in a half a mile radius becomes enriched for 1 year. And the plants will yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested.
Okay. So, while Laffy's doing that for 8 hours.
Yeah, Laffy's gone for 8 hours.
Before Laffy just went out of it, Mist would probably ask if she could help Laffy in any particular way, because she could do something else that's minor, if not, but...
Laffy has her eyes closed and she cracks an eye open and she's like, this isn't your wheelhouse.
I know, but I'm curious anyway.
What do you plan on doing?
Well, I was asking if there's any way that I can help you.
I don't think so. Go find the others. Ren and Brad are probably just sitting under a tree doing things.
Fair. Well, I might not ever find them, but...
Miss, it's open land! Luffy's concentration almost breaks, like the glove flickers in her hand.
Mist is just like, don't let me distract you.
Just whistle and Saint will come and he will lead you wherever you need to go.
Okay. Mist actually looks for Nua. Is Nua supervising this?
She watched and briefly saw that magic was indeed at play and walked away.
Okay. Yeah, she's just like, well, shit, I can't ask anyone anything. Alright, okay, She actually takes a look at the crop things and, makes note of them. Okay. And then she whistles for Saint.
Okay. Saint is over with you, Bran and Ren, and you swear to God you hear a quiet popping noise and he's gone. And then you hear another popping noise, Mist, and there's Saint next to you. But you could have sworn you saw him run up, but he just kind of appeared.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah. And he looks at you and just kind of starts padding back towards the village.
Mist just giggles and follows. She didn't even have to say anything. Saint just knew.
Yeah, pretty much. So with you rejoined with the crew, about, I don't know, an hour passes before people start breaking up after breakfast. And you guys do spot an inn off to one side. You see a few people wandering in there. When they leave the door open, you do catch the familiar sight of, bar stools. And you see what looks like might be a bard or just an entertainer walking in. And they close the door behind them. But you're like, oh, we found a place to hang out.
The question is, do they want to move? Miss kind of looks up the tree at Ren.
I think Ren's standing at the base of the tree.
No, she's just standing there, arms crossed, looking.
Yeah, Miss kind of looks at Ren and is like, "So, do you You want to talk about what you saw?
Nope.
No.
Not yet.
Alright.
Not here.
Alright.
Nenia, you've rejoined them by now. The other
Okay.
villagers have kind of shooed you off. They're like, no, you don't need to help us do our day-to-day.
Alright.
So, you guys aren't going to spend the next 8 hours under that tree, so at some point you head over to the inn when you see it opens up. And there's an individual
Are
at
you
the...
fucking sure, Max?
Yes, I'm sure. You guys head over to the inn, and there's a person behind the bar, and he looks over at you, and, you need anything to drink?
Just some water, please, if you like.
Right? He wanders off and brings out water.
Miss, I don't know, pays for the water.
Okay. So, now I'm gonna ask, now that you're in an inn, is there anything you're gonna do for the next 8 hours? You do witness people kind of coming in and out. They look tired, but not like downtrodden. It's the people that have grown used to this sort of life, and they don't know anything else, so why would they dislike this? They all look at you kind of curiously, but you get the sense that they're kind of a suspicious people by default. They're not used to getting visitors. Throughout the day, the bartender comes up and offers you guys some food, and is just kind of generally tending to you guys. And are you gonna do anything? At least throughout the day,
Well,
or what
I know
you
that
presume
Mist
to be
has
the
been
day.
spacing out for a lot. I feel like all three of them just are kind of like not all there for various reasons.
Nenny,
But-
are you also spacing out?
No.
Okay.
I mean, eventually Mist is gonna try to find a place to herself. Like, she's gonna ask if they have a room.
They just kind of laugh and no.
I mean, if it
Think.
was an inn-like place, but yeah. Like,
He just says, we
"Alright,
don't
well,
get
then-
travelers.
Fair enough. So she might do a dumb thing, and she might just go start wandering around.
Okay. Well, while Mist goes off to do that, what are you doing, Enya?
I'd like to say that she probably mentioned something about the village elder, and she kind of wants to touch base with Jorad and maybe talk to the elder again.
Okay. The barkeep is the one that just kind of says, Jorad's busy, but, the seer's hard to come by too. I'll send word around though, see if they can come see you.
Alright, thank you.
So you guys go to waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and over the course of what you presume to be the day, eventually people start filtering in, and it's at this point that someone, very nondescript looking, approaches you guys, and you've just been keeping busy in your own little ways, relaxing, kind of for once, where not much is happening. It's kind of rare with you guys, actually. Someone walks up, and they're incredibly nondescript looking, one of those people that's so plain that your eyes would just kind of skip over them. And they say, the seer would like to see you.
That's great. Okay, and she looks to Bran and Red to see if they want to, and gestures.
Ren just kind of like blinks, looks at Nenia like she didn't hear what she was saying, and waits for her to say it again.
The elder of the village is the one who helped me get back. They knew much about the history of Ruston and the balance of this place. If you want to come, Ren is scary. Okay. sorry.
Oh, God.
Dear precious.
Ren just kind of like looks at her, continues looking at her, looks at her for long enough to make it real awkward,
Oh my god, Red!
and then shrugs and like starts like pushes herself off the tree and starts walking towards Minia, like she's gonna follow her.
Okay. Bran, what are you doing?
Well, if they were still at the tree, then they probably just left Bran asleep in the tree.
Ren
Oh.
kicks his boot to wake him up. Like,
What else going on? What?
we're leaving you here.
Alright.
Oh my god.
The person that had come said, "No, he's coming too." She specifically said, all of you.
Do you hear that, Brian? You have to get up. Ren extends a hand.
Nania is gonna look
Somebody
around for
gets to
Mist.
Mist
Sorry.
is probably lost somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mist-
I expected that she left the tavern, and I have no idea where she is.
Yeah,
She-
Miss,
she's-
you literally got lost in a village of about 40 buildings.
It's fine. She looked for something interesting, and then she looked for something else interesting, and she's now on the top of a mountain somewhere. It's fine.
At some point, you wound up on top of a building, and you don't remember climbing it, but you're here.
It's standard fare for Miss. She's like, oh, this is interesting.
Oh my god.
And another one of these nondescript individuals finds you atop your lonely mountain. That really, you're like, I don't know how I got here. And they say, "Come with me.
Who are you?
I'm a messenger. The seer wishes to see you.
Let's see.
Yes, come with me, Mistress."
Miss tilts her head and right. She's gonna follow, but
Alright.
she's skeptical as fuck.
Alright, they lead you down. Luffy, you come to, and your spell is complete.
Okay.
And as you your focus returns back to your body, you see an individual of the same nature, squatting near you, and, oh good.
I didn't do anything. I mean, I did do something, but it was good.
Well, the seer wishes to see you.
Who's the seer?
The seer is the seer. Come with me.
You know what? Fair. I don't know why I asked that. And Luffy gets it.
Okay, you guys all walk, and you meet outside of, Nenny, you recognize it, but it's this low, it looks almost like a yurt, but it has a metal roof. And you guys all meet up outside of this, and it's got a rather narrow entryway, and it's dark inside. You can't see inside from here, but there's no, door-ass door. There's, curtains hanging down.
Luffy appears behind them and is like, ooh.
Wait, those mysterious, very plain people just go away?
They walked in.
Okay. Mist is like... Mist sees Laffy and says with telepathy, he's like, I didn't introduce myself as Mistress, but this one knew my name.
Luffy
She's
gives,
clearly suspicious.
Luffy gives Mist a dubious look and then gives them a dubious look.
They get their little X-Files thing going.
Do, do, do.
Oh, that's what I forgot to do.
Nania will just follow them if it seems like it's okay to follow them in.
Yeah, they don't stop you.
Alright.
So I assume the rest of you guys follow in
Yeah.
after Nenia.
Yeah, Ren
Yeah.
just lets herself in.
Alright, and Nenia, again, you see a familiar sight. You see this individual seated on the floor, very small, but with hair that is so long that it spreads out around them like a blanket or a curtain. And it is gray-white, and their face is hard to make out. They just kind of got one of those faces that you see and you recognize, but you don't know where or how, but you're like, oh, okay, I know what that is. But they look just impossibly old. And you hear this rickety voice say, "Oh, welcome. Please sit down." And the rigid arm reaches out and points to a series of cushions set out in front of a small flame or fire that is in front of the seer. And around the walls of the yurt are various individuals kind of going about what look to be carving things, making various pottery. They are being industrious despite this being the home of a seer.
When Laffy sits down, she doesn't sit on the cushion. Instead, she picks it up and she holds it like she's prepared to be told a story. It's a great one.
Okay.
Miss totally sits on the cushion. She looks really pleased about there being cushions to sit on.
Okay.
Nydia tips her head in greeting and then, it's good to see you again. Thank you for helping me before. She'll sit down.
Oh, I knew that helping you would help us. I'm glad to see that it succeeded.
Ren stands because she's a douche.
And the seer, Renswaina, sit, please. You get the sense that it's not really a question, or it's not a request.
Ren gives her the Kermit face. And then she sits down.
Oh my god.
I presume Bran's just yep.
Yeah, Bran just whatever. He's not. Yeah. He's going along with this.
He's like, thank God I can sit again.
He's only 40% even paying attention to what's going on around him.
Okay. And the seer gestures again with this really rigid arm, and it's covered in this brown garment that they're wearing, and it's not very ornate, but it denotes some sort of status because it is nicer than anything you've seen, which isn't saying much, but yeah. And the rest of the individuals kind of file out, and as they do so, she reaches out into a pocket that you didn't really see existed within her lap, and she tosses something onto the flames, and they shoot up, and it starts to smell nice in there, actually. It smells like incense after she does so. And she just says, I know you have questions, dear children. That's why I've brought you in front of this one. Ask, and I pray I have the answers.
Mist blinks. She's like, well, that's very kind of you.
What was the eyes that spoke to us?
That was Raelsh.
Laffy looks at Ren.
Ren crosses her arms. She's trying to look skeptical as fuck. It's not really working.
Yeah.
Miss tilts her head and is like, how much do you see?
Do I see? Oh, dear child. I see a great many things. I've been around for far too long. I've seen everything. I will see many more things.
Mist is just like, well, if you knew about the eye, do you know about the voice?
I do. The
What can you tell
outsider
me?
speaks and wishes for you to return. But I see each of you have been touched.
How so?
How interesting.
I didn't give permission for that.
Oh, but you did, dear Brannon Bavel. Oh, you did. When you took up the gemstone, you gave permission. Whether you know it or not. Oh, you are the harbingers of the Realmix, I see.
What does that mean exactly?
It is not something that has been spoken of. It is a new concept. And she reaches out again and sprinkles some more stuff on the fire. And again, it just smells nice. She's just, as far as you're aware, they're just trying to make it smell good here.
Mist's gonna use Eldritch Sight on that.
You don't see anything. It is,
Okay.
as far as you're aware, incense.
Yeah, alright.
Sorry, I lost my track of thought. You've all been touched. You, she points to you, Laffy. Cass, obviously, you have.
Laffy, like, sits up a little straighter.
She points to you, Mist. And you have been blessed by the outsider. Perhaps you are part of it. And she looks at you, Ren, and... Raelsh.
Ren just shifts uncomfortably.
She looks to you, Brannon. Leander, I see. That's unusual. And she looks to you, Nenian. Ganther. You all are all the harbingers. You bring the signs of their return. Not that you meant to, not that you tried to. But you began it.
So, what does the return entail?
Yeah, what does that mean exactly? What we heard of the Realmix is not exactly, I guess, the best things?
Oh, they are not kind. They are dispassionate. They wish only to see the creation brought to its end. And thus if they return, things will come to an end.
What?
Wait.
Ren shifts uncomfortably again. Avoids
Okay.
looking at anyone.
Wait. Okay, so vigilance, balance, and that's all I
Knowledge.
know. Knowledge,
Life.
life. What's that? How does the end of things really tie into that?
Perhaps I should start at the beginning, then.
Please.
You see, each of these relics, they do not represent what you think they do. They are creatures, or perhaps they are simply things of the astral plane that travel the ways of the waves and create. It is with Anda that they sought to bind arcane magic of the astral sea into one location. They created this world, and in the twist of fate, the energy gave birth to life. Elves rose from the earth, dwarves were hewn from mountains and stone, gnomes grew from trees that the elves tended to with such great fondness, and halflings were born from the indulgences of these other races, but they were looked upon fondly. They are creatures of delight. Now, the Realmix themselves, they did not make themselves known to their creations. They decided to stand back and look. Now, for millennia, the races existed in harmony, for why wouldn't they? There was land enough. There's plenty to go around. But at some point, and nobody knows quite when, it has been lost to history. Knowledge of these Realmix came to the world. Individuals descended upon the land to preach. Now, you know Cass is the watchful. Teaching of vigilance, to take pride and to remain true throughout hardship, Leander was the mind to learn and to pass on that knowledge. Ganther the Giver was the elves' patron of choice. In fact, they had teachings that were taken up faster than most. It was succor, healing, to protect life itself, to create life. And Crove was the shaper, to take things and make them. Civilization was moved by Crove's hand. And Raosh the twins, as you know, was that there's a duality in all things, and holiness is to know that. And then there was Sa'an, the protector, to ensure no harm comes to any and all. However, as it turns out, those teachings were lies. They weren't made with any purpose. They were simply the lies that spring from misunderstanding. For each of these things are the titles of the Realmics, but not how they were interpreted. Leander was the one that thought up this great experiment. Kast was the one to keep an eye over the experiment, to warn of any harm that is to come to it. Crove was the one to shape it, to take Leander's ideas and to make them real. Ganther breathed life into everything, to create the trees, the forests. And Raosh was the one that poked and prodded at the great experiment, just to see what would happen. Sa'an was there to protect against whatever Kast found. For their duty was to see this experiment to its end. To know what would happen when you concentrated arcane energy in one place. But that is not what people learned. Whoever learned of them did not, could not, would not understand the truth. How could they? The truth is harsh, cruel. To say that you are nothing more than a toy to these great things. Nobody would wish to understand such a thing. I'm sure you don't. And she looks out at you guys.
Miss has this odd expression.
Fluffy's like, eh.
Idiot's frowning.
Miss, she's like, what is the outside in relation to bliss?
The consumer. The outsider is not a realmic, but a force. The scintillating presence. But the realmics are the topic here, I'm afraid. Those that they learned of these realmics and they decided to come back and teach things. They taught the kinder words, the concepts that encourage people. For it is mankind's greatest ability to take what they do not understand and turn it into goodness. And at some point, the influence of the realmics waned, and for a time there was no notice. The realmics did not bring peace or happiness. They began the teachings, were given the names, but it was the people that practiced these teachings. I do not know why the realmics left. Save for one, of course. There was one that was corrupted by this grand experiment.
Knew it.
Looked upon what was made and said, "This is too good to be ruined." Sa'an has been said to walk amongst us even still. But goodness is something that even you can understand. Each of you have taken something you don't understand. And she looks at you, Renan. A beginning that had no reason. or a power that you were given with a simple twist of fate. And she looks at you, Laffy. Or simply a beginning that was cruel, and knowledge that you thought was meant to be good, but did not remain as such. Looks to you, Mist, and a beginning that begs the question, what am I? The very core misunderstanding. Looks over to you, Bran, and the great misunderstanding of why. The search for something to make you feel. Looks at you, Nenya, and you too, much like your friend Ren, a power that you were given that you don't understand. Each of you took these and did good things with them. Not because you were told to, but because it was right. Am I wrong?
Ren opens her mouth, closes her mouth. Doesn't seem like she really agrees.
Yeah, Mist kind of tilts her head.
Fluffy
Bran's
looks away
like-
like a dog that broke something.
Bran's just kind of leaning forward, his like face propped up on it by like his arm, and he's looking at her, and he looks like he's paying attention, but he's just kind of also just staring.
Mist is just like, this realm is ruled by the unknown.
The countless
Sentience
lives you have
is
saved. Oh, I know what you've done, but the countless lives you have saved. That proves that you have taken this fundamental unknown. You know not what you are or why you are, but you use what you are for good. That is why you chose them, isn't it, Sa'an? She looks at Saint, and Saint boofs and wags his tail.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Luffy looks at Saint and she's like, okay, wait. I was told that Saint was the god of friendship, and now he's the god of, what was it? Creation?
Protection.
Ren looks
On
at Saint.
protects.
Saint looks back at you and just wags his tail some more.
Mist just pats Saint.
Ren looks at Saint and she's like, you don't get to get out of this by being a good boy.
He just wags his tail some more, and, he is a very good boy. In fact, he is a good boy because he saw what was taken as... not law, but what was taken as a fact, and turned into something that it was meant to bring peace to the world.
But why is he a dog?
What better to protect people? To remain by everyone's side at all times.
Could he be a person? She looks at Saint. Can you just turn into a person? Is that something that you can do?
He just borfs and lays down.
You know, think about it. If you could take on any form you want to, would you take on the one you have right now, or would you take on something better suited for your hopes?
I'd be a bugbear.
Ren silently thinks about being a werewolf. She doesn't
Yeah.
say anything.
Mist is just like, you'd be something else, I know it. I know I would.
Wait, what did Ren
I
say?
would.
My internet cut out.
Silently thinks about being a werewolf.
Fucking furry.
Oh, but you are Sa'an's chosen now. You have been good. You have been good, boys and girls.
Oh.
Let's not say it like that again.
Saint just wags his tail.
Yeah, Mist is just like, I
So-
don't know if I'm either one.
I have a question. Luffy raises her hand.
The seer looks at you.
Why? I've been doing a whole lot of magic that's new, and I don't really know what it is. Is that because I'm the champion? And if Koss doesn't care, then why do I have these powers? Or is it because of Saint?
She just looks at you and... It is because you wish to have them.
Luffy's eyes kind of glaze over.
Mist doesn't seem to think this is that odd.
Lilia looks in the fire and just considers that.
So, what, the rest of these Realmics, aside from Zaan, wish to see all of this end?
They wish to see what happens when they unravel their experiment.
Okay.
Ren opens her hand and like looks at the symbol.
If Sa'an has chosen you, though, it means that this is not a promise, but rather a possibility.
Of course it is. Miss just, she looks a little bit upset, but it's not at the seer and it's not at anyone in the group. She's like, she doesn't fucking like it. There are endless possibilities, and if this realm is so ruled by the unknown as it always seemed to be with sentient existence, then there are endless possibilities as to what could happen. There is no fate, there is choice. We could do something about it.
Saint seems to like this a lot.
Yeah, Mist grins at Saint a little bit, but she's still upset. She doesn't like this.
You have all been given gifts, whether you know them now or not. Use these gifts. Bring the goodness. Do as you have been doing.
Ren's face is getting a little Kermity again.
Yeah, Luffy doesn't look great. There's clearly, like, she's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and it's just not working out for her.
Yeah, just.
So, I got chosen as the champion of Koss, but Koss wants to destroy everything.
To correct you, you were chosen as the champion of Kasa's teachings.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to use Koss's teachings and kill Koss.
Interpreted teachings.
Yes, and kill her.
Yeah.
Seems a bit crazy when you say it like that, but I suppose that's the truth.
So we're going to kill these entities.
And Ren opens her mouth, and then she closes her mouth, and then she opens it again, and then she closes it again.
You know,
like she's got some thoughts.
Yeah, Mist looks like there's a whole lot building up there, and she. Mist is like, alright, so these entities, theoretically, they existed prior to magic existing. So they would not be affected if they destroyed all of this, right? Is that the case?
They would not destroy creation, they would simply destroy this realm.
Okay, but this realm is the center of magic, and magic holds creation together.
So it is thought.
Is it not the case?
Perhaps it is. If they seek to destroy it, perhaps they have other things in mind.
Alright, okay.
So they are painting over the canvas, so to speak.
I understand a bit more now about why they were called uncaring. I thought they were forces, but of course not.
Oh, no.
Fickle entities, like deities are.
Gods are for assholes.
Yes. Did you
People
say...
are good.
Oh.
Gods are not.
Floppy looks at Ren.
Ren looks like she's thinking real hard.
Floppy reaches out
Uh-huh.
and she gingerly touches. She snakes her hand around Ren's back
Uh-huh.
and just rubs it in a circle and it's like, get it out.
The seer
just
throws some more junk on the fire and it flares up high, and it smells earthy.
Okay. So, right.
What
And
is
she
it,
like
Ren?
she moves her hands a little bit, like she gestures a little bit, and then she sits back down, and then she like goes to gesture again, and then she sort of settles back again.
Fluffy pats her on the back a few times.
Ren, if you don't
Like she's
say
got a burp
something,
waiting.
I'm going to go on a fucking rant, Ren, if you don't say anything. You better hurry up.
Ren, please.
Okay. So this world is like the center of magic, right?
In theory, apparently.
Well, I mean, not in theory. It is the center of magic as far as we're concerned. We're just not sure if that means what we thought it meant in
True.
terms of universe destroying potential.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It would probably destroy basically everything.
See?
Well, okay. So that means there's a lot of magic here, right?
Yes.
Okay. And she sits there like she's got something going on, and she's making hands like she's like gesturing for like a world shape, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and we have all these people, right? And none of them, well, some of them don't really know what the Realmics are anymore. And we don't really know why they were cut off either. Is that part of the? And she looks like sort of to the side, not at anything, and she's sort of tilting her head like, is that sort of what Sigil did also in cutting off the... Anyway. But like... What if... And she looks at her hand, and she looks at the seer.
Spit it out already.
You know, Ren, I wish you had my ability right now.
That probably wouldn't help. What if we just sort of, reversed the stream and made the Realmics what we want them to be instead of them making us what we are?
That's kind of fucking awesome. That's like one of the best ideas you've ever had.
Sure, that sounds wonderful. Now explain to us how.
Ren just sort of shrugs.
Fluffy looks at the seer to see if that can be a thing.
Mist.
The seer just shrugs.
Mist is like,
I mean,
I know
we'd have to access a whole lot of power.
Luffy looks at Saint.
Mist has this look on her face like,
Saint just wags his tail.
Mist is just like, that which waits. Remember. Oh, fucking hell.
Ren opens her mouth and then closes her mouth and opens it again, and she's like, what?
That which waits want to take all the souls in this realm, the center of magic, and use them for something of its coming, right?
Luffy looks at the seer as if the seer will have more information on that which waits.
That would wait. It's another name for the outsider.
Mist just has this giggling awful fit, but it's clear that she fucking hates it. She hates it so much because she was right, and she hates it.
Luffy holds her pillow a little closer and is like, I'm uncomfortable.
You see,
Me too.
Renswaina,
Uh-huh.
when you made your wish, you expelled enough energy to draw the Realmic's attention from wherever they were.
Uh-huh.
And I believe, well, your friend Fridial, I believe he was trying to do such a thing, but for the outsider and the outsider alone.
Huh.
Mist is just like, she's like seething.
Miss,
What?
I don't understand where you're coming from.
I
So,
had thought the whole time that perhaps maybe I was that which way.
Oh, no, child. You've not
That's
eaten
good.
the world.
That's good. But I'm connected to it. That's the voice, right?
I do not know. Now, Renswaina,
Uh-huh.
I believe you got some apologizing to do. In the form of making this right.
Ren just like, she just puts her like forehead in her hands for a second.
I mean, to be fair,
We help.
alright, yeah. We enabled you? So, like, if I had known that this was going to happen, I would have just taken Sister.
I mean, yeah. But then we would have probably fought each other, and it would have been a bad time.
Ren, I think that what's happening now is a bad time.
No, I can't disagree with that.
Nadia is afraid to ask.
I mean, I've always been a very selfish creature.
You know, all things considered, one would think that existence wouldn't be so fickle, but here we are.
I mean, you could, like, walk outside and hit your head on a corner and then die, so I'm not surprised.
Red.
What? I mean, okay, Luffy, but that's a little bit different than walking outside and, you know, just summoning entities that are going to destroy all of everything by
We
accident.
did a really big
We
thing.
did. This is true.
So we fix it, just like we fix everything else.
I mean, yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to let this happen, or do our best not to.
No, we're just gonna go to a nice beachside area and drink some ale until it all blows over.
You know,
It's not a terrible idea.
I have a question, actually. So, this outsider, the one called the consumer, would that be able to consume Realmix?
Likely not. But it's only a likelihood.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Likely not, but It's not a guarantee that it won't. I suggest not letting anything eat them, though.
Why?
Because then it might gain their abilities and all that sort of mess.
Infinite cosmic power.
You are what you eat.
Force. This thing is a force, and it can only be as its nature. That's what forces are. They can only be what they are. It will not discriminate necessarily what it is eating. It just wants to eat, I'm guessing.
Okay, so don't feed the Realmix to the outsider. Got it. I don't know. I still like the. I still like my first idea. Make them what we want them.
I do too, but I also like the idea of punching the shit out of Kaz until I'm Kaz. But I like your idea too.
I don't really want to be Railsh, so.
Mist takes a few breaths and then looks at the seer and is like, a paradoxical question, but could you tell me anything about the force of the unknown?
The force of the unknown was the result of trying to give the outsider shape on this world.
Sorry, you're breaking up a lot.
Oh, good.
It's kinda... I feel like I might be breaking up too. Maybe we should just switch the server.
No, I think it's just our internet if it's both of us.
What?
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be both of you.
Yeah.
How about now? Better, 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 better?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still occasionally, like, cutting your little bit robot-y.
Oh. Well...
I mean, it's not too bad, but...
Okay, yeah, I'll just go on then. She says, the unknown was the attempt to bring the outsider in by your family. You are that attempt. You are that failure.
Hey!
I mean, it's sort of better to be a failure than the real thing.
How is that the case, though? I mean, the force of the unknown is all curiosity, all unknowing, all will and want to do anything, the space between one thing and another. The force of the unknown I'm speaking of is the actual force of the unknown. It is not something that someone came up with. It would be there if everything else was gone, because there would be nothing to know.
You are arrogant, child. The unknown has always existed. You are not the fundamental force of the unknown.
I know that!
You are...
I'm asking about the force of the unknown. Of course I'm not that. That's far too great for me. Far too great for any one being, sentient or not.
The force of unknowing was created when the failure to bring the all-consumer failed.
How old am I then?
That which inhabits the body of you is relatively new. You saw what happened to that little girl. That is what they tried to do to you.
Okay.
But they failed.
How did the force of the unknowing get created when the... This just looks really confused now.
She just reaches out with an arm that's a lot longer than you thought it was, like eerily long, and pats you on the knee and just says, "You're overthinking it."
Okay. I just imagine that the force of unknowing would be there before and after all existence, really. It is of non-existence too.
There's a difference between a concept and a force. You speak of the concept.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I wasn't able to cast the magic that I was until like a little bit ago, and people who are waking up with Asa magic haven't been able to do that until like about a year ago. So does that make sense? Forces.
Think of it this way. The storm always exists, it always has, and always will.
Oh, you are cutting out something terrible.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
Is it mostly Max or is it me?
It's mostly Max.
Oh,
Then
good.
maybe the server does remove.
Yeah, let me move it. Okay. Better? Worse?
Oh,
So
better.
far, you're
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Way better, actually.
That's good. Okay. For example, the storm always exists. It needs not somebody to control it, somebody to make it. It simply is. On occasion,
Right.
somebody comes along that can use it, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is you.
Okay. So... Right. So I'm thinking of the unknown as that which has always existed. And it doesn't need anybody.
Yes.
So I'm the one that can use it.
Yes.
Alright. That makes sense.
Are you sure? Because I don't think it does, but I think that's the point. Now, Sa'an's chosen. I believe you got some things to do.
So, could you give us a starting point?
There are 2 more temples to earn blessings from before you can make any real plans. Geanther and Croves. The location of them is not known to be precise, but Geanther's temple was known to be located in a great tree worshipped by the elves. Crove had a temple within the foundation of the world, where the first steps were taken. Look for a great tree and look for the foundry. You will find them there.
Bet it's underneath the fucking lime.
Possibly. So gaining these blessings should... Will that enable us to... What will that give us? What will that enable us to do?
It was said that those who gain all the blessings will be able to commune with the Realmics themselves. It was never
That's
achieved. But might as well try.
Right. Well,
Yeah?
She just kind of smacks her lips and looks at you guys.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, no, honestly. You've given us far more answers than I think anybody ever has.
You know, yeah, actually, now that you mention it, thank you.
Exactly, are you again?
I am old. That's all that needs to be said, but I live here too. But I would prefer it if my home is not blown up.
It just gives them this look like, oh, you're old. Okay.
well, we're definitely going to do our best at that.
Well, guess we should be going.
Is
Ren still doesn't really look like she knows what she's gonna
Yeah.
do with her life.
yeah.
Staring at the fire like.
Yeah, we haven't really. We've gotten answers, but I don't really think we have any idea what to do with them.
We
Well, he's like,
don't
we got
know much of this continent. Where might, like, a great forest be, perhaps, if we're looking for the tree?
Why don't we just ask the book?
Because the book was...
The book that
Wasn't it
pointed
for
us to the
Undar?
rest of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was of Leander, but it said it was from Undar. Remember? I mean, I can ask it, we can see.
I mean,
Fluffy
also-
looks at the seer because they just asked the question.
Yeah.
Ask your book.
Alright.
Oh yes, the book.
You know, I was going to ask it a lot of things anyway, but here we go. Miss takes out the book and actually, like, hands it to Ren because Ren was the one that wanted to ask the book.
Ren looks at Miss and she's like, "You just don't want to use up your questions."
True. Do you have any questions you don't want to use up?
None that I want to know the answers to.
Well, then there you go.
And Ren asks it where to find the Temple of Ganther.
Location unknown.
Wow.
Ren
Ask for
writes
a
back.
forest in, she snaps her fingers and she's like, what's this continent again? It's, I don't remember out of character. This would probably
Ren-
know, but I'm like, where the heck is the screenshot of the thing? She wrote it down, I just don't remember.
Ashta.
Okay, yeah. It's like, where is a very large forest in Ashtar?
Ren, is that what you write?
Sure.
It returns, Ashta is a mostly mountainous region. List of great forests. And it lists 4. The first is the Athton Wood. The second is the Greenwood Sea. The third is the Dusk Road. And the fourth is the Alterellen Forest.
What place got the most elves?
Alterel. That is familiar.
Oh wait, you're right, Autorel. That is
I mean-
familiar. It's gone.
Didn't it? Yeah, I was going to say, didn't the Elven City kind of get blown up?
Yeah.
And there was a giant tree that the fucking thing was up. We have to go back in there.
We do have to go back in there, and there's probably gonna be demons, and I get to clear it out.
I mean, assuming there's anything left.
I'm going to make sure to see if Ganther's temple realm, whatever, was supposedly on Ondar, but if it was, then that's probably where we need to go.
Guys, that place is a burning fuck to death pile of shit. Like,
Yeah. We never
Good
went in
thing
there.
you're good at
killed us.
killing demons then.
Right?
yeah.
I don't think we ever went in there, though.
When
No.
you open the book, by the way, you do
Uh-huh.
see the map come into view.
Ooh.
There it is, the thing I was looking for.
So you said the foundry is that
Is that what?
The foundry was the other day.
Yeah, is that oh, that's just a Relmix title?
The foundry was where Crove's temple was.
Okay, can you just write into the book where's the foundry?
Ren uses her last question to ask, "Where's the foundry?"
It just kind of blink, blink, blink. Several foundries known. And it points to the Bleak Rock Mountains.
You don't want to go there.
The Roughshod Peaks. And then, Deep Frost Volcano.
It's probably that last one.
You know where there's a volcano.
Yes, we do.
I wonder if it's a coincidence that both our remaining temples are back in Onda.
I mean, let's be real, it's probably not.
I mean, no, not really.
I'm gonna fuck up some Realmix, guys.
Yeah!
Ren snaps the book closed, hands it back to Mist.
Yeah, Mist.
Not going to lie, I've been waiting for one of you to say that this whole time.
Saint barks loudly.
Say, are they your friends?
He growls.
Okay, good.
Well, we're going to make them your friends.
What?
Saint looks
What?
equally confused.
I don't
just-
think you want to do that, Ren.
I mean, if we made them, good Realmix instead of evil Realmix.
Right.
His perked ears go down again like he gets it. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, both Saint and Mist were like the same on that.
Ren just gets up and she's like, okay, but if we go back to Undar, I'm going to see my sister.
That's
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, of course.
Well, we have a long sea journey back ahead of us.
No, we don't. We don't need to unless we want to.
Well, I
Do you
wasn't
want to,
intending on
Ren?
leaving. I wasn't intending on leaving the Bryn stranded here.
Yeah,
I mean,
that would be rude.
You can be honest with us too. I'm sure you want to, sail a little bit longer.
Yes.
Yeah, Mist looks back to the seer and sort of dips her head and is like, thank you again. Is there anything else we should know before going off on this fucking hell adventure?
No.
Well, okay then.
That was a very succinct answer.
I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm tired. It's late.
Fair. I
I think we
trust
can
you a
also-
lot more than the master of planes. You think he would have said something about all this, but no.
No,
He told us not to go looking
He told
for
us
them.
not to. Yes.
But if we didn't, then the world would end. So, I don't understand greater powers, guys. And then she just pets it.
Yeah.
maybe we can look into
Entities.
deposing them too once we're finished with this. Ren cracks her knuckles.
Sentient entities with such power are frustrating.
Saint barks.
But Saint's okay.
No, he's good.
Saint hasn't tried to unravel the universe yet.
I really don't get why that's so appealing to do all the time.
I quite like everything existing.
Possibilities are great. I don't know why not having that would be, something to go after.
unwind the tapestry and you get to rebuild.
Only if you're there to rebuild it.
I mean, yeah.
So many that reach so far don't know what they're getting into.
Yeah, that's way over my pay grade. Ren gets up and, like, walks outside the tent, like, stretching.
Remember when we discovered a sex cult, says Laffy as she gets up and follows?
Oh my god.
They will be able
Mist
to visit
actually-
this Lillian.
She actually looks over to Nenia, who she kind of expects to be, like, half traumatized. Is she doing alright?
No, but she's good at hiding that. She doesn't let anybody know. She's just,
Mist is gonna insight check Nenia.
Okay.
Nenia rolled deception.
deception. Okay.
Disgrace.
Oh, wait.
We just
How the fuck do you guys know Lion King 2?
I hate it. 26.
with advantage? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mist
Mist
gets
don't.
advantage on insight.
Yeah. Alright. Mist, I guess you understand that Nanny is not really okay with this, but she's trying to hide it.
And she politely bows her head to the seer. Thank you for everything and for all that you've done. And, doesn't pay, like, Mist more than a glance, and will follow after Luffy and Ren.
And
Yeah,
Saint.
Mist
Okay.
bows her head again and is like, thank you, I hope you get good rest. We're going to do all we can to stop this from happening.
Luffy peeks back in the yurt and she's like, I fixed your crops, by the way. Okay, bye.
Mist gets up and goes out there and, like, she finds Nenia and she puts a hand on her shoulder and she's just like, you know, this is way beyond all of us. We're not showing it yet, but we're all really
Wait.
upset.
Ren just calls back, we have more experience dealing with existential crises.
That's
Ren's
unfortunate.
dead.
It's really unfortunate.
Ren pauses for a second, like looking at Nenia like, oh. I mean, I suppose that's unfortunate.
It is. But, we'll see that it is that right. And, she looks up at Mist and pats her hand and, gives her a brave smile. And,
Yeah, Mist is like,
she understands.
She's
She appreciates it, but she understands.
yeah, she's like, we've sort of been in this situation before, not exactly, but sort of, and basically, you can only do what you can when you find out that you have the ability to.
Ren
Right.
walks over and she's like, she's the one who wanted to know the answers to her power source. I'd
Are
say
you
she's
trying
got them.
Are you trying to pin this on Miss somehow?
What? No, not you. I was talking to her and she points at Nenia.
I
Oh,
did
okay.
know. And I do know. No,
Honestly, I don't think knowing is, or seeking the knowledge is bad, because if we didn't know, then we wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
Well, I wasn't saying it was bad. I was saying to stop babying her.
Not babying her.
You're kind of babying her.
I mean, you don't always find out that you're part of something that's going to end all of existence, alright?
Actually, in our experience, we
yes,
do.
Okay. Yes, in our case, We do.
Okay, in Mist's defense, wouldn't you have like someone to pat you on the back and tell you it was going to be okay when we found out about what was happening?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be okay, but we can do something about it, and that's better than, just not, right?
Luffy looks at Nick, and it's very.
It's what? Sorry.
It's very intense. It's a very intense look. It's a little worrying.
Okay.
And she says, "You're gonna have to fight. This isn't. If you do this isn't a matter of wanting or vaunting. You are going to have to fight. There are powers with which want to destroy us. Like, you need to attack something at some point."
And you know what? Here's the thing, right? You wanted to help people, and I think you're in one of the best possible positions ever to help people, all things considered. So keep that in mind.
Alright,
This is it. You're
well.
going to help everybody ever
I am.
by helping us. Helping do this, right? Okay, so remember that. When we're in fucking all this goddamn mess.
Oh no.
Oh, who'd we lose?
Uh-oh.
We
Ran.
lost Kyle.
Oh no.
Dead. Oh no.
Oh no.
Trying to know.
Shit.
Let's take a quick break then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
find
all
out
go
what
to the
happened.
Lobby.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the lobby.
We'll be back in a few minutes, Internet.
Jesus.
Hi, we're back, Internet.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay. So, we had just... you guys were just kind of
You're talking
screaming
to
about
Nenia.
Nenia. Yeah.
But
Um,
that's basically... I mean, Mist was talking to Nenia, but she's... In some ways, she's talking to Nenia because she's really upset. Like... she's
Venting on Nenia.
talking... I mean, she's not really venting on Nenia. She's just kind of... She's super upset, man. She doesn't like it. And... talking makes her feel better sometimes, even though she's not very good at it. So. She eventually just kind of shuts up, though, and she pats Nenia on the shoulder, and she just goes, I don't know. If any of them are walking, she's going to follow them.
Luffy looks at Nenia meaningfully for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy says to Nenia, "When we got to the mansion, I am making a special room, and we are going to do some training." And then, and then she walks off.
What did that mean?
Ren just kind of like, she looks at Laffy walk off, and she looks at Mist, and then she gives Nenia a really weird look. Like, it's a bizarre look because it's kind of like, it's a look that kind of says, you know what, fuck 'em, do it your own way, and then Ren walks off.
Huh. Oh my god, I want her to be able to discern that. But she doesn't know Ren very well, besides she's terrified.
Roll for discerning.
I mean, you could roll for insight.
Sure. Do I still have my thing for that? No.
And then, Ren, would you contest that?
No.
Alright. You totally get what Ren's look meant.
Awesome. Okay. She's not gonna say anything, but follow along with the group and
Nenia.
try to keep. No, it's how Nenia is. I'm sorry. She's gonna hang by Mist and just. Yeah, she's going to just get lost in thoughts all alone.
Saint's hanging out with you, Bran.
Ren just like, so you're a god, huh? Not just a god, but one of the.
He just kind of barks and, like, doggy shoulder checks you.
Ren just pats him on the head. Well, you're not the worst god I've met.
He wags his tail real hard.
Is it that kind of tail wag that, like, makes their butt move?
Oh, yeah. So you guys wander off. You're all pretty tuckered out.
Yeah.
So, Laffy, you reach into your pocket and pull out your gem and tear open the mansion in some corner.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys pile into the mansion. You are now inside the mansion. In the distance, you hear...
Oh my god.
Yeah. I made a
Just
room
sighs.
for that.
That's
Mist.
nice.
Mist totally goes and gives things to Polka Dot too this time. Like,
Actually,
various
Mist,
foods.
make an animal
Yeah.
handling check.
Oh boy, here we go. It's gonna be awful. Oh, oops. It's 13. I'm sorry. I
You-
still had advantage on.
You step in to give Polka Dot some food, and you get headbutted.
She just she probably falls over because she's a fucking weenie.
Yeah. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. Yep. She just lays there. She doesn't even give a fuck. If Polka Dot just starts walking on her, she's just like, all right. She sets the stuff down.
Polka Dot is at the other end of the room screaming.
Yeah. And she puts the stuff down. Eventually, she gets up and leaves the room so Polka Dot can have whatever piece Polka Dot can get as a goat. Yep.
Fuck. You guys, I swear to God. Okay, so you're back in the mansion. What's everyone doing?
Laffy is going to look at Nenia.
Nania is probably concerned with a mischief on the floor and trying to help her up.
Oh my god. I mean, Miss takes the help. She's not very heavy.
I'm not gonna just watch this happen.
She's just like, thank you.
Rub some dirt in it, Mist. Speaking of dirt, Nenia, I need you to follow me.
She, doesn't take long to think about it. I don't know if her scared of Ren senses are tingling too bad, but there might be, like, a slight glance in that direction, but not enough to even get Ren in her peripheral.
Ren's watching her, like her arms. She's like sitting on the table with her feet on the chair, eating a pastry, and like watching.
Ren, like, notices how intense Ren probably looks and, like, thumps her on the nose.
What was that for?
Who just thought you needed it?
Rude.
Yes, let's go talk. And she will
Laffy.
follow laughing.
Laffy is gonna lead her down some stairs that weren't there before.
Whoa.
History stairs.
And she takes her to a room, and it is a very big. And there is a sand pit, and there are training dummies. And Laffy looks at Nenia, and she says to Nenia, "One of these days, you're going to need to use your staff or whatever magic you have. We won't always dare to get monsters away from you. We're going to probably be fighting gods. You need to hit something now."
Oh no.
She's just gonna be like, I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Oh, you're cutting out for me a lot.
And she's,
Oh, the lag is real.
oh god. Am I back?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. She looks at Nenia and she's like, "You're going to have to hit something. Please. Please. Just, you have to." And she leads her to
Why?
a training dummy and she's like, "Because they will not always be there to direct things away from you. And if something has you cornered, you're going to need to do it. And we're also going to be probably fighting gods. You need to have some sort of experience with that."
She looks at the training dummy and thinks about that last sentence of fighting gods and how a dummy is going to help her with that.
Yeah, Brand's sitting here thinking that too. He's watching this.
Luffy is like,
Follow downstairs.
no, they're already downstairs.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
they followed them.
yeah,
Oh.
she's like, "Because you need somewhere to start. You need a starting point. You haven't done anything in battle. Don't know when we're gonna get in battle again. So we're starting here. Square one. Or you could hit me.
No.
Are you sure? Are you sure? So you won't hit me.
I'm
So this
very
is why
sure.
this is why we practice on the training dummy. Baby steps.
Ren like
I
leans
can't.
in from the doorway and she says, "You're going to want to hit her by the end of this."
she kind of gives Ren a bit of a cross look, like, come on. But, it's Luffy, please. But no, I feel like there are just some things that I can do that others can't, and the same goes for everyone. Am I in the way? I mean...
You're not in the way. I'm just saying that there is... Listen, you've been great. And
I think you're breaking up.
Yeah, you're cutting out a lot.
Oh no.
Shit. Okay, am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our
Luffy
internet's just
says-
sucking.
Luffy says, you've been great, but there is still more that you can do. And I would hate to see you in a situation that you are not prepared for because you are relying on us to get you out.
Right. She thinks about it, gives that small, polite smile, and, I don't know what I'm doing if I'm not helping people. These hands have mended and not broken. Not intentionally. I don't know the offensive magics like you do. I don't... She just shakes her head and, I appreciate this, Luffy, but I don't know what I'm capable of, besides what I'm confident in making sure that you stay up, making sure that you can keep fighting. I don't like to put anybody in that situation. I think about what these hands are capable of now. I don't want you to keep fighting. I don't want any of you to keep fighting, but we have to, and I have to in...
I don't know. I enjoy a good brawl from time to time.
Brand's
Brand's just like sitting in the corner, just watching.
Oh my god.
She just
like Ren has wandered into the room and has like sat in the sand and is like sort of building a sandcastle ineffectually.
Oh my god.
Mist is totally gone. After Nenia helped her up, she went to her room and she's not there.
Oh no. Poor Mist.
Luffy sitting at me for a long moment. And she opens her mouth to say something, and then she closes it. And then she opens it again. And she holds up a finger, closes her mouth again. And she says, "One, that is the most words I have ever heard you speak at one time. You should do that more often, because you are very good with them. Two, I admire the sentiments, and I hear you. Three, I still think that you should try to figure out exactly what you are capable of, because you are going to need them. I am not saying these things to bully you or to make you feel bad. I am saying these things because they are things that you need to hear."
I know.
So, when you're ready, this room will be here, and you can figure something out.
She is doing her goddamn best to keep her composure and nods to start. I appreciate it. I think I need time, but I won't take up too much and think about what I can do and try.
Laffy is gonna insight check her.
Okay.
I'm getting feedback. Like, I can hear my...
hear.
Wait, now I can't.
Me neither.
Okay.
It's definitely not on my end because I'm pushed to talk.
Huh.
11.
And you gonna contest that, Nania?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh no!
She's
Damn.
fine.
So, yeah, you see through it, but you're like, huh.
But no, what's the mood? What is...
She's scared,
Oh.
but medics don't show that.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. It's a habit.
Laffy, you know, she puts a hand on her shoulder, and then she doesn't look like she knows if she should do that, and then she removes her hand, but then she puts it back. And she says, "Listen, we are going to be with you every step of the way. We have done this before, and you haven't, and I'm worried about you. But I just want you to know that I will try my best so that you will not have to be in that situation."
Let's all just do our best to save the fate of our realm.
Bran just like slow claps to that.
Oh my god, you guys.
Laffy looks at Bran, and she's like, "You stop that," and then she looks at Ren building a fucking sandcastle, and she goes, "And that's not what that's there for!"
Ren looks up at her over like the top of her little sand fort now. It's got layers.
Oh That's a talent.
Yeah.
She just stares at Laffy like, "You should put a beach in here."
Oh, could you do that? That would be awesome.
Oh my
I
god.
hate the both of you so much. You cannot imagine the immensity of my loathing for you two at this very point in time.
Bran shrugs.
Are you going to put caltrops in my bed?
I might do you one worse.
I don't know what would be worse than sleeping on caltrops.
You'll see.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, I can sleep again. I slept last night.
Are you sure you're good? Was that? Are you sure that's not just a one-time thing? Try to do it right now.
I can't just go to sleep like that. Who goes to sleep like that?
Bran. I mean, what? Laffy.
There's someone in real life who goes to sleep like that.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Laffy looks at Ren with profound lack of understanding.
Ren gets up, dusts sand off herself. So, world saving tomorrow, well rested tonight. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good night. Ren leaves.
Oh my god! Ren came to build a sandcastle and then left. Dude, I hope it's still there.
Saint is snuffling around the sandcastle, but being incredibly careful.
Bran just like watches Ren leave, then turns back to Nydia and Laffy. And so, is this thing you two got going here done?
Oh
There's
my
then more.
god.
I don't know, Bran. Do you have anything that you want to add?
Bran thinks about. No.
No,
Not really.
Bran, I would like some Sigillian wisdom. While you're here, you know, you were so sassy a moment. I thought that you had something to add to the conversation.
Well, the girl here says she wants to keep us alive to keep fighting, but can't hurt anyone herself, so basically we're her weapons. Just food for thought. And then
That's
he leaves.
fucking brutal. And then she goes.
Nenny is
Nydia
quad
feels-
wielding.
Oh my god. Oh.
That was just Bran attempting to point out a little bit of hypocrisy there. What he perceives as hypocrisy, at least.
Yeah, she's just gonna.
Sweep that one under the rug.
She gets it. She doesn't like it.
Gonna hop on those Heelys to ride away from those Feelies.
Pretty much.
Like, compartmentalize
Laffy asked Bran to say what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Never said that would be a good thing.
Jesus.
Ooh.
She is like at a loss for words, and Jill standing there. And wow, getting on the end of Bran's sass. What does she do?
It's okay, it happens to everyone.
She doesn't look pleased at all, and wow, I completely crap. When you have a voice and then it's gone. Oh, she looks embarrassed, displeased, and it's. I know it's not okay for me to ask for that sort of thing or expect it. Or I should undermine your capabilities that you can take care of yourselves and you don't need me. Thank you for that. And she's just going to go upstairs. She has absolutely.
Bran already left.
Oh.
Bran said that and walked out the door.
Oh, I didn't hear that. My bad. Okay, well, she did not just talk to space and, like, just went to her room. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Okay, well, she just went to her room to go think about that.
Okay, so everyone has returned to their room by now. Does anyone want to do anything in their bedrooms?
Mist has been fucking sobbing the whole time.
Oh,
I was gonna say Laffy goes to find Mist.
Not, she's in her room, and you could probably hear it through the door if you try. She's
is the-
fucking breaking down, man.
Is the door locked?
I don't know. Probably not.
Laffy walks into the room and
um,
she And
Yeah.
she also brings Saint with her.
Oh my god. Mist is probably, like, she's probably not even in the bed. She's probably, like, just in some corner. Kind of curled up in a ball.
Fluffy
Really
leans
upset.
down in front of Mist.
She's facing the wall. She doesn't
And
even
she
really
kinda
try to stop when someone comes in.
tentatively puts a hand on Mist's back.
She sort of sniffles and tries to, like, compose herself. It doesn't really work.
Fluffy just kinda, like, tries to turn Mist around a little bit.
She'll turn around. She, like, rubs her face with her massive fucking sleeve things and just sort of looks at Laffy and she's like, "What? Sorry, what? What is it?"
Fluffy just hugs Mist.
Oh. Mist hugs Laffy back and probably starts crying again.
Fluffy doesn't know what to say, because what the fuck can she say? But Fluffy, like, holds Mist and kind of lets Mist cry it out for however the fuck long she needs to.
She's... You know that kind of breaking down where, like, you start to calm down, but then you get more upset because you think of something else, and then you just start going again. It's just kind of like that. And eventually she's just kind of like, "Luffy, you don't have to stay here. I
Want to be alone?
don't know."
Well, then I will stay here until you know whether or not you want to be alone.
I don't think I'm ever gonna know that.
Well, we've been together this whole time, and I'm gonna stay with you for however long you want me around.
I mean, you're what I have, Luffy. I don't really have anything else.
No. Wish I knew why you were feeling this way, but
I'm like the opposite of everything I thought I stood for. I don't even know if...
oh god, I am so sorry. You're gonna need to repeat that because my internet fucked out.
God. Okay. Yeah, she's like... She sort of rubs her eyes, but doesn't really help anything, and she's like, "I'm the opposite of everything I thought I stood for. I don't... I don't even know if the unknown is would always convey to me either." It's really confusing. And Mist, like, she kind of tries to stop talking. Instead, she sort of conveys what she's feeling to Laffy instead, but, like, not in a way that would make Laffy feel the same. Just sort of like information instead of, you know, hey, torrent of emotion. Because she doesn't want Laffy to feel that.
Laffy is tearing up anyway.
Oh my god.
And she's like, well, I'm sorry. It's terrible to find out that what you thought isn't what you think it is anymore. But...
well, I mean, it's not even that, it's... I'm not lied to what I thought I was, and I don't even know how I stand for what I thought I stood for. Like, I don't think I wasn't ever like this before.
Like what?
I mean, before I was free, I guess, or whatever, I was different, and then when I was free, I understood things so differently. Around my unknowing and all of that, and it just turns out that whatever it is just a force that came into being from, being a failure experiment. I mean, I always expected that I wasn't something, that she just sort of conveys a sense of importance or something with, like, general large amounts of meaning, but she can't find the words. And then she's like, but I thought I was connected to something greater than like a byproduct of something that wants to devour everything.
But you are part of something great. You always have been. Nothing's changed since a lot has changed since I first met you, but look at what we're doing.
I know. I mean, I don't feel any less.
You don't have to be.
It's weird to explain, I guess. I mean, it's like a part of me that I always thought was there. It's never there at all.
But you believed that it was there.
Now I don't.
Well,
I mean, I still believe in it, of course. I can't not, really. I don't know. I don't want to be something that fucking just wants to eat. Oh god, Ed, you cut out so hard.
yeah, I know. She says, you remember what's to see us?
Yes.
That we are good on our own, and that what we believe took on a life of its own away from surroundings. Doesn't make it any less important, and it doesn't mean that you have to stop believing in it. It just means that you believe in it for different reasons.
I don't really know how that happened. Which is vague as fuck, but she doesn't explain.
Fluffy says, that's vague as fuck, but you don't have to explain.
Thank you.
I don't feel like I did anything.
I know.
Says Fluffy, but I'm trying
here.
really hard.
You're here. That's important. I don't think anything's going to make me feel better, honestly.
It's fine. To be honest, I don't know when you start feeling better. When I figured everything out about my fucking teachers, I felt like every purpose I had ever had didn't matter. And then I realized that we went on to save the world, and so I spent that year with you, and it was like none of that mattered.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, obviously, endless possibilities. Everything could be wrong. We can make whatever we like in one way or another, and I guess it's sort of proven now that what you think and how you feel, how you wish for something can manifest itself. I guess, I don't know. sort of scared of myself, Luffy.
Why?
A part of me wants to listen to whatever it is within me is saying.
Well,
I mean, I don't, and I do, and it doesn't make any sense.
when... You remember when we were fighting Salich, right?
Yes.
When I had that skull in my hand, I thought I could just keep it. And I could just go back to how everything was. And everything that I believed I could have again if I just kept it. But there was you, and there was Ren, and there was Bran, and everything that I knew, everything. It didn't compare. It didn't mean that the voice wasn't there, and that I didn't think about it for a moment, but it let me want to. And so maybe when you think about that voice, you can think about the rest of us, and perhaps it won't be as tempting anymore.
Well, I mean, not going to listen unless I have to. Unless for some reason it'd help everything.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, she said, I'm not going to listen unless I have to. Unless for some reason it would help everything.
I
I
know.
already know that. Just...
I don't think that you would ever do anything to that. And whatever decision you make, I'm going to be with you for it.
Luffy, you're the best friend I've ever had.
Luffy starts crying all over again.
Yeah. Miss just hugs Laffy, and she probably starts crying again too. It's awful. It's this fucking awful mess. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well,
And then they cry all of their water out. The rest of the night. All of their water insults.
if only they had spare water. Anyway, so, Bran, as you're dragging yourself up to your room, you have this brutal headache.
Oh god.
Yay.
Like, it's super bad. But you manage to get back to your room. And as you're going into your room, you catch a peek of yourself out of the corner of your eye. And I need you to make a perception check.
Oh
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh man.
Okay. You see what might be the beginning of some wrinkles
Oh,
under
man.
your eyes.
Oh.
What?
Bran just kind of like, oh, well, that's different.
Oh.
That's all you see at the moment, though. And you make your way over to your bed, kind of a little unsettled.
Yeah, he's like unsettled and unsure what to make of it. Like, it's not the wrinkles. Like he's not putting two and two together yet. Like he's not like wrinkles. Oh God, am I aging? Because it's been so long that he's just like, oh God, wait, what's this? I don't know what these are.
Oh my god.
But you hit the bed, and you're out, still fucked up over your resurrection spell. And Ren, you are back in your room, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, you're in your bed.
Inspecting the bed for anything Laffy may have done to it. Although her revenge maybe temporarily is, set to the side because of mist distraction.
Yeah, Laffy kind of forgot.
Maybe it's a good thing.
She pulls the covers aside, and on the sheet is just dick butt. You know what? No, that's Ken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Alright. Ren,
Oh. Go ahead.
Ren stares at it and then just gets into bed.
Okay. You're lying in bed, and you're feeling tired again.
Yeah.
And it's both. You're like, this is weird, but at the same time, you're like, huh. Okay then.
Yeah.
And as you are laying in bed, you're just kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen. Like, oh, well, either I'll fall asleep or I won't.
How do I go to sleep again? I only did it for the first, 20 some odd years of my life.
Yeah. I mean, what is sleep other than just waiting for it to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you look down at your hand and you feel this throb. And you hear a voice that just says, "I'm coming for you."
Oh god.
Ren pauses and she looks at her hand. and she and
Oh
like
my god.
like first she's real angry. All right, there is this like uncontrollable rage which she manages to sort of like she gets the fire out. Now it's just really nice burning coals, the kind of coals that are really hot.
Mm-hmm.
They're not raging anymore.
She's smoldering.
Yeah. Okay. Simmering. And then she like she's silent for a really long time. Just like, letting that feeling sort of wash over her. Just like complete defiance.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And she looks at her hand. And she runs her hand like over the scar, her other hand. And she's gonna say something really stupidly edgy.
Okay. Go for it. Cut us up, baby.
Oh my god. I can't do it. I can't physically make myself say what I wanted her to say.
You have to say it.
You
That's
have to
what
say
D&D is.
Oh my
Don't make
God.
us sit here all night
We
waiting for
just
you to
had
say
an
it.
emotional moment, me and Das. Now you gotta say your edgy shit.
We gotta balance it up.
Okay, alright. Ren will forever be the comic relief character because she looks at her hand, she touches the scar, and she says, "Oh my god, I can't do it."
Do I need to do like a drum roll for you?
Please.
She says,
Or it's a dramatic music, building in the background, and she says, "You know what?
Meeting.
Shut up." I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm gonna leave.
nope, come on. Come on.
Just
I know what you're going for. I need you to do it.
No.
Yeah.
But then yes, okay, and she says, "You know what? We might be just insects to you. We might be nothing. And you might have branded us your harbingers to destroy this world. But we're gonna teach you what we're really made of."
And as you say that, you feel that kind of cold fire in your chest settle over your heart. And you have the brief realization that this is it. That is your purpose.
Oh, shit.
No.
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit.
And that's where we're
What?
going to end tonight's session.
No!
Oh my god.
Well, fuck.
Yep.
Wasn't that it?
Okay, well, I was gonna go with we're gonna teach you real fear, but
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Anyway.
I thought you were gonna say, no, we're coming for you.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna do like your best like 80s action hero like voice, like I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
Honey, you got a big storm coming.
Anyway, internet, we'll be back next weekend.
Bye.
Bye, internet.
Bye.